Okay, hello everybody. This is Lama Caroline. I'm here in Gangchen Rinpoche in Malaga, Spain. Okay, and we're going to continue with the long explanation of NgalSo Tantric Self-Healing, which was created by our precious guru, Lama Gangchen Rinpoche. Okay, so first we're going to do some little prayers together, the preliminaries of self-healing, and then we will start to talk in more detail about the practice. Okay. Okay, so hope you've got your prayer book. No? Sure you have, yeah? Let's do it together, yes? Nice, no? Okay. Namo Guru Bhye Namo Buddhaya Namo Dhammaya Namo Sanghaya Namo Guru Bhye Namo Buddhaya Namo Dhammaya Namo Sanghaya Namo Guru Bhye Namo Buddhaya Namo Dhammaya Namo Sanghaya Namo Triratnaya Sangye Chodan Sogi Chonam La Janchu Padu Dani Kyasuchi Dagi Jin Sogi Pesonanki Drola Penchi Sangye Drupasho Sangye Chodan Sogi Chonam La Janchu Padu Dani Kyasuchi Dagi Jin Sogi Pesonanki Drola Penchi Sangye Drupasho. In the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, the Supreme Assembly, I go for refuge. Through the practices of generosity and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all beings. Semchen tamche dewa dan dewe gyudan denpa gyuchi. Semchen tamche dunyel dan dunyel gi gyudan drawa gyuchi. Semchen tamche dunyel mepe dewa dami drawa gyuchi. Semchen tamche nyerin chadahani dan trawe tamnyon la nepa gyuchi. Semchen tamche lusengi duhunele soshin trayo lusen dewa dan denpa gyuchi. Semchen tamche NgalSo tochi hinchina nuchu koyu dan danshin samane gyuchi. Semchen tamche dansan boli higi kieto tadan chinagi shidedan dukun denpa gyuchi. Tamche duni sashita semala sohame padan la tiltanya bedurye Ranshin Jampone Gyuchi La Dami Chupese No Su Sham Dahani Kitro Kusan Chutri Laname Nanke Kangu Hunkya Gyuchi O Namo Bhagavate Benza Sawa Pramadani Tatagataya Ahate Samya Sambuddhaya Tayata Om Benze Benze Maha Tetsa Benze Maha Vidya Benze Maha Bodhicitta Benze Maha Bodhi Mandropa Samkramana Benze Sawakama Awarana Vishuddhana Benze Soha Kuncho Sungi Tempadan Sangye Dancha Chu Sempa Tanche Gi Jingi Ladan Soni Yosu So Pena Dan Chempo Dan Chuki Nampa Takshin Sangi Mikyape Togi Deshi Nidugyuchi Malusem Chen Kungi Gungyuchi Dude Punje Mise Jom Zela Nona Malu Yanda Kengyupe Chom Tenko Chene Di Shesu So Gosungu pegone chaselo, no shayi trochupa malubu. Tomene satitun tam chisha, kepa ge wahanam la jira, kowa mato badule shune, drola chuki hikolo kowada, dashin jena janchu chempo no. Sashipuki jushi metotram, rirali shini dengen padi, sange shintu mite buwai, drokunanda hashinla chupasho, idam guru ratna mandala kaniryatayami. Mozangel wa kungi yesheni, Tritu dreame gelten zimpezo, Rajan kyoko gelso trudunku, Trinchela me shabla sowade, Om a guru vajra dara sumati gyana sasana dara samudra si padra sawasidi hum. Om a guru vajra dara sumati gyana sasana dara samudra si padra sawasidi hum. Om a guru vajradhara sumati gyana sasana dara samudra shri bhadra sawasidi hum. Ucho sampo pagyuta shipa tu chentem pehetrile noda pegyedro lo zampe sepachen palden la meheshabla sowad Oma guru Madratahara Suhumahati Muni Shahasahane Kama Uttavahadanye Sri Bahadra Vasamahanya Sawasidi Homo Maguru Madratahara Suhumahati Muni Shahasahane Kama Uttavahadanye Sri Bahadra Vasamahanya Sawasidi Homo Maguru Vadradhara Suhumahati Muni Shahasahane Kama Uttavahadanye Sri Bahadra Vasamahanya Sawasidi Kyani lama kyani yidan kyani kadrochu kyonte dene zunte janchu badu kyumi kyase misowe dida badu chime tayan tuje chakyu zunzola shishi jidro nudru kunso tengi drosa baju sun kyani lama kyani yidan kyani kadrochu kyonte dene badu sorry dene Sunte janchu badu kyumi kyase misowe dida badu chime taya tuje kyakyu sunsola sishi jijo nodru konso tengi droso bachuso. You are the guru, you are the yidam, you are the daka and the dharma protector. From now until I reach enlightenment, I shall seek no other refuge than you. In this life, the bardo, in all my future lives, please hold me with the hook of your compassion. Please liberate me from the fears of samsara and nirvana. Be my constant companion and protect me from all hindrances. Tetale so sawata petu la meku suhuntu gine namle dutsi uze kamatinga su ridachi chahajune daniki ne sumrindan Chimpa chia chapa timpale, something wrong there. Drishi da chihinada wan shito kushito chilama nipashi geshin timpe jingila pagyo. Oma guru vajradhara Suhumati Muni Shahasahane Kama Uttavadanye Sri Bhadra Vasamahanya Sawasidi Hu Pakya ke Kuda Dagilu Pakya ke Sundahadagina Pakya ke Tudan Dagi Danyamachi Tujingilo Makya ke Kudan Dagilu Makya ke Sundahadagina Makya ke Tudan Dagi Danyamachi Tujingilo Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Soha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Soha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Munye Soha Om Maitreya Maitreya Maha Maitreya Arya Maitreya Soha Om Maitreya Maitreya Maha Maitreya Arya Maitreya Soha Om Maitreya Maitreya Maha Maitreya Arya Maitreya Soha Om Ahum Karuna Karuna Maha Karuna Arya Karunaye Soha Om Ahum Karuna Karuna Maha Karuna Arya Karunaye Soha. Okay, hello everybody, all Dharma friends all over the world. Hope you're all okay, yeah? This week we saw many dedications for different friends with problems, yeah? So we do think about you all, and we do dedicate, in Albaniano. Also, we have many different prayer books, and prayer groups, yeah, also. Yeah, too, I look and try to dedicate when I see the messages, yeah? So anyway, we do think about you all. Anyway, I hope you're all okay, yeah? So anyway, now we're going to continue with Rinpoche's commentary on NgalSo Tantric Self-Healing 2. Okay, I'm using this one. Okay, this is volume 2, a little old, no? It's falling to pieces, yeah. This is the second edition of Rinpoche's book in English. If not, I shall have this one in Spanish, but we have many other editions. Okay. Okay, if you don't have one, please, if you like, you can pick up from our Dharma centers around the world, or you can get one from the Albaniano online shop if you like, yeah, if you want to follow on paper, yeah. Okay, so, we're looking in detail at Rinpoche's teachings, which is what he asked us all to do, to go slowly and look in detail at his practice and try and get to understand better and get more feeling about his practice, okay? So the last time we were talking, last Thursday, we got to the point where we were talking about receiving the Guru's blessing, no, weren't we? And I was saying that we're saying the mantra Kyabje Tridang Dorji Cheng Rinpoche's Guru, and then our Guru Gangchen Rinpoche, okay? And I was saying that they're like the last ones so far, yeah, of the Ganden Mahamudra lineage, yeah, which goes back to Buddha Vajradhara to Lama Tsongkhapa through many important realized masters, yeah? So Rinpoche kindly let us do just the last 2 verses, and not all the other 30 or 35 verses of this prayer, yeah, because he knew it would be too long for us, yeah? So last time we were talking about, briefly, we were talking about some of the past incarnations of Kyabje Trizang Dorje Cheng, yeah? And I was referring to one prayer that was written by NgalSo Rinpoche a few years ago, yeah? And he was in there he explained some of the past lives of Kyabje Trizang Dorje Cheng. So if I remember rightly, he was saying that he was Chandaka, no? Very famous, no? Buddhist charioteer. Then he was Chandrakirti, super famous, yeah? He was Atisha, super famous. Pamasambhava, super famous. He was, who else? Many important masters of India and Tibet, yeah? Okay, so famous. Lama Tsongkhapa, it says, yeah? Then who else? The 8th Karmapa, yeah, very important. Okay, so an incredible garland of enlightened masters, yeah? So we're very lucky to have him as the head of our lineage, okay? Oh, so anyway, so they're all super famous, so actually it's quite easy to find out more detail about all these holy beings who are the past lives of Kyabji Trizang Dorje Chang if you want to find out more, okay? So, okay, so we're talking a little bit about that, just in a short way, just some kind of, some sharing, a little bit. Then I thought, today, I thought maybe we should also speak a little bit about our Lama Gangchen's past lives, because also he had many past lives as well, yeah? So I think one thing very nice, we have many nice things, is that the lamas, the high lamas of our lineage, actually they're going through history together. And it's like they kind of know each other since forever, actually, and like in every period of history they were together, which is very wonderful, isn't it? Because it means also in the future, hopefully they'll continue to be together, and hopefully we will kind of follow on behind them, like hanging on by our fingertips, or following these great charioteers. So we're very, very lucky, that we know these holy beings. Okay. So anyway, so I thought first, before we do anything else, we'll look a little bit at Lama Gangchen's past lives, a little bit. Okay, this is obviously going to be just like a summary. Okay. Because there's a huge amount to say. It's actually difficult to finish, like all these things that we're talking about. Let me just have a look. I put here on my computer somewhere. Okay, so let me think. Okay, so as far as I know, as far as I can count, up to our present Lama Gangchen Rinpoche. Actually, he was the 13th actually of his incarnation line, although it depends how you count. Now, I saw some Tibetan prayers that they made recently, and they say he's like the 5th one, yeah, but then they're just counting back to when he first became a Gelugpa, when he was Panchen Zampo Tashi, who was the abbot of Tashi Lumpo, yeah, the 2nd abbot after Gaden Drub, the 1st Dalai Lama, yeah. But there's a lot more Rinpoches than that, yeah, but so it depends how you count, So over the years, I've been writing down Rinpoche's histories, me and the people around him, and gradually it came out more and more. So I started many, many years ago making a book called The Nine-Sided Crystal, and now the crystal's got more sides, yeah? Now, so far it's got 13 sides, and who knows, we may discover 1 or 2 more, yeah? So as far as I know, it's from what I heard, what Rinpoche, mainly this is what Rinpoche told me, and then sometimes I was able to research these people in more detail. So what happened many times as we were going around the world, and it's kind of like Rinpoche would have like some deja vu experience somehow, like a flashback, like he would recognize very strongly one place. And he said, I think I've been here, yeah? Then he say, according to my incarnation prayers, I was such and such from that time, yeah? So I always found that extremely fascinating, So according to what I know, yeah, actually the first past life of Rinpoche was also one lady, actually, she was called Vihara Devi, from the goddess of the Vihara, from Sri Lanka, and she was in what we call the 2nd century before Christ, so that means more or less 300 years after the historical Buddha Shakyamuni's paranirvana, yeah. So actually, yeah, there was a famous Indian emperor called Ashoka, yeah, who was first was a very horrible person, a really, really, really nasty person, a warlord, yeah. But then later on, he felt regret for his actions, and he became like much more pacific. He became a great sponsor of Buddhism, yeah, and he promoted Buddhism throughout the Indian subcontinent. And actually, his daughter, yeah, she became a nun, and she took some of the Buddha relics to Sri Lanka, and I don't think she can't have been a nun at that point, yeah, because she actually hid them in her hair. So she's kind of curled up her hair like this and hid them inside, yeah. So obviously she became a nun after, when she got to Sri Lanka, not while she was on the boat, yeah. So anyway, she took the Buddha relics to Sri Lanka, the ones that are still there to this day, actually. And we actually went to visit those when we went with Rinpoche. So anyway, there's various stories about this lady, yeah. And Rinpoche said that actually, you have a look. There's one temple called Kelaniya Temple, yeah, which is a very famous Buddhist temple near Colombo. Colombo's like the capital of Sri Lanka, yeah, And this lady was considered to be the protectress of this temple, yeah. Let me just find her story, yeah. See if I can find it, yeah, Anyway, basically, she please, other Sangha members, if you know better than me, please write in and share your story, or write a WhatsApp or something. Yeah, but as far as I know, she was living there in that temple, and then there was she gave her life. She sacrificed her life in order to protect the temple. Yeah, okay. It says there were various tsunamis that were hit, like just recently. No, okay. Like 20 years ago or something, there was a big tsunami, wasn't there, that came from Indonesia and hit Sri Lanka. Yeah, so periodically there are tsunamis in the Ring of Fire. Yeah. So okay, here actually I found one story. Okay, this is Queen Vihara Mahadevi. Okay, so let me read you the story. Okay, so she was the daughter. Queen Vihara Mahadevi was the daughter of King Kelantissa, who ruled Kelania, which must have been in Sri Lanka. Yeah, okay. The king punished an innocent monk once by boiling him alive in a cauldron of oil, which is not very nice, no? But anyway, so it says that the devas were angered by this cruel deed, yeah, and they caused a tsunami. Yeah? So then the astrologers, they said that if a princess is sacrificed to the sea, the waves would stop, yeah. So the young princess sacrificed herself for the negative karma of her father and for the safety of her motherland, yeah. So she was placed inside a boat, yeah, which was beautifully painted and which had the writing "Daughter of a King," and then they pushed her off into the sea. Okay, and there was coming like this tsunami, and they pushed her off into the waves. Yeah, so it says as soon as she set off, the sea turned calm and the water receded. Yeah. However, the king was very upset, and the queen was crying, and all the citizens of the Kelania country were very angry over the loss of their brave princess, and they all started to blame the king. Yeah. Okay. Finally, the princess was washed up ashore in a spot known as Dovera in Kirinda, which is in the southern part of Sri Lanka. Yeah. Which was a quite prosperous area and was ruled by one king called King Kavantisa. Yeah. A fisherman spotted the boat and ran to the king's castle and told the king about the castaway princess. Yeah. Okay. So she was brought from the shore to the king in a procession. Yeah. And then the king, hearing it's a bit like Disney, the king, on hearing her story, was so impressed that he decided to marry the princess, who'd been so brave and patriotic to sacrifice her life for her country. Yeah. As the legends say, she reached the shore at a spot close to the Sri Lanka Vihara, and she was called Vihara Mahadevi. Yeah? And the place where she landed is marked by an inscription laid by the Prince Mahanaga. Yeah. Okay, so then she had two sons. Yeah, with Prince. Yeah, one was called Dutegemunu and Sadatissa, yeah. So the first one of the greatest heroes of Sri Lanka, yeah. And Vihara Mahadevi herself is recognized as the greatest heroine of Sri Lanka, yeah. So in this temple that Rinpoche always used to go and visit when he went to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an extremely beautiful place, by the way. Very nice people, very sweet, you know. So when he used to go to the temple, there was a statue of this lady, Vihara Mahadevi, and he used to say, "That was me," yeah, and you said that many times. Okay, so therefore we have to recognize this lady as the first of his incarnation lineage. Yeah, okay. Just like actually our protector, no, our great king protector, recently said that Magadha Zangmo, the excellent lady of Magadha, who was a disciple of. She was the daughter of Ananda Pindika, who was Buddha's main sponsor, yeah? And she was the one who went to another country and stood on the roof of her house and invited the Buddha, and then the Buddha and all the arhats flew on dragons and things and came to visit her. And then everybody was so impressed that the Jain people of her country converted to Buddhism, yeah? Okay. So Rinpoche is not the only one with, I mean, this is reincarnation, no? You can be a man, you could be a woman, you're all things, no? It says in the Lam Rim, we've been everything. Says there's nothing we haven't been, there's nothing we haven't done. Okay. So anyway, so Rinpoche's first incarnation that we know about, that he ever talked about, was this lady, okay? Doesn't mean he didn't have others. Of course, we also have many other lives, but I think the problem is we don't know who they are. Rinpoche, you know, had some kind of flashbacks, some kind of recognition of his, okay? Okay, so hang on 1 second. So that was the first one, yeah? Eventually, one day we'll make a definitive book on all this, but till then we can just share like this. It's nice, no? Okay. So that was the first one, okay? First one was this lady, Vihara Mahadevi. Yeah? Okay, from Sri Lanka, yeah? So Rinpoche's second incarnation that he recognized himself, that he talked about, was he was the last priest of Apollo at Delphi, yeah? Delphi in Greece, yeah? Now, in the ancient Greek period, Rinpoche, sorry, in the ancient Greek period, no, Delphi was considered the center of the world, yeah? It was they had many beautiful temples of like Apollo and many other gods, yeah. And it was also a place where they had the Oracle of Delphi, the famous Oracle. Okay. Now Rinpoche went there many times, and if any Greek friends are listening, hope some are, or if you know any Greek friends, anybody listening, it'd be very nice if they could like share some stories with us. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I went to Greece with Rinpoche a few times, yeah, but I'm sure there's many more beautiful stories that we can share about Rinpoche in Greece, yeah? Like I was saying, like one time we were in Olympus. No, I wasn't there, but some other people were there. And I've got a photo of this. Rinpoche was in Olympus, yeah? And where the Olympic Games were held, no? And there's a long running track, yeah? It's like a kind of stadium with like, you know, seats on the side, the ends curved, and it's where they used to do the running races in the ancient times when they had the first Olympic Games, yeah? And when Rinpoche was there, the laurel crown of the victors like blew up with the wind and went like that on his head, yeah? He said, of course, because I was the priest of Apollo, yeah? So if any of our friends who went with Rinpoche to Greece, or our Greek friends remember anything, please contact me and I'd like to share these stories, yeah? Okay? Okay, so anyway, Rinpoche said he was the last priest of Apollo before the fall of Apollo, yeah? Fall of Delphi, yeah? Okay? So Delphi for many centuries was one of the main religious centers of Greece, yeah, ancient Greece, yeah. Let me just have a look here. Okay, and it was like okay, so from like maybe like 1000 BC, like 3000 years ago, until about the 4th century in the Christian era, yeah, the modern era, it was a very important religious site, okay? And so the ancient Greek people considered it the center of the world, okay? The navel of the world, yeah, okay? And there's a stone there, which is maybe as a meteorite, which they regard as the center of the world, yeah, okay? And there used to be a very huge temple of Apollo. Now there's just the base left of it, yeah? And there was a kind of crack in the earth where there were many kind of volcanic fumes coming up, and above it used to sit the Pythia, which means the serpent lady, you know, like a Naga, yeah? And she was the oracle of Delphi, and she used to go into trance and give many different kinds of predictions. So all kinds of people from all over the known world went there to receive, you know, predictions, yeah? So Rinpoche was very interested in Delphi, and he always said that, he used to say when he went there, he could still see all the ancient Greek gods around in the ruined temples, yeah? And he said they were still there, you know, and he always used to do like 6 mantras, 6 mudras, and do pujas there for them, yeah? And he said that in Europe we used to have the oracle tradition in the West, but we actually lost it, you know. So he said he liked this idea that we were recovering our ancient culture, yeah, like through Tibetan Buddhism, we're actually linking back to our own ancient culture in many different ways, yeah. Anyway, so he was the last last priest of Apollo. Okay, that's what he said, yeah. Okay, so that's one very important life that he had. Yeah, so he was also European, actually. So first he was a Sri Lankan lady. Second, Rinpoche was European. He was Greek, yeah, okay. Okay, then the third life that Rinpoche recognized himself as his past life was he felt strongly that he'd been King Sailendra of Indonesia, yeah. He felt that he was the king who'd built Borobudur in the 8th century together with the great Indian or Sri Lankan architect Gunadharma Thera, no? And Rinpoche, yeah, he's got such a like interest and fascination and connection with Borobudur, and he always said that's because I was the King Sailendra, no? So King Sailendra was the head of the Sailendra, the mountain dynasty in central Java in the 8th century. They had two competing dynasties, the Sailendras, the Buddhists, and the Sanjayas, the Hindu dynasty. And so they filled up the central Buddhist plain with incredible monuments. And of course, for us, the most interesting is Borobudur, on which Rinpoche, he went there many, many times. And in 1991, he had like this strong revelation, yeah, where his many different Buddhas appeared to him, not just like stone like us, but really appeared to him. And then he came back and he composed the self-healing practice, and then he started to practice it all around the world, yeah, okay? From that moment until the moment he passed into parinirvana. And I'm sure in his future life he'll continue to do the same, yeah? Okay. Not only that, but actually right now I'm reading one book that Cozy's made, a beautiful book, which is called Opening Many Doors, which I'm sure is the title Rinpoche gave, yeah? Opening Many Doors to Enlightenment, yeah? And there is detailing many of Rinpoche's pilgrimages in Tibet, China, Nepal, Mongolia, all around the world, yeah? And it's a very beautiful book, yeah? Beautifully illustrated. And also it's nice, it also has many histories about Rinpoche's past life, and also it's showing Rinpoche doing self-healing literally everywhere in every kind of holy Buddhist place in the world. It's, so this is a really important message for us. Like, for example, there's pictures of Rinpoche doing self-healing in Wu Tai Shan, every Tibetan monastery, every holy Mahasiddha cave and temple, every single place he could. No? Why? Because it's showing the importance of the self-healing practice, yeah? So there's something we need to think about, Rinpoche's left us something incredibly important, incredibly precious, yeah? Now it's up to us, and we need to practice self-healing and continue it, okay? Okay, now I'm just talking briefly about Rinpoche's past life, okay? Because otherwise I'll never finish, no? And we need to do one episode on each of Rinpoche's past life, of course we could do, why not? But anyway, now we're just speaking in a short way here. Maybe another time we do, why not? Yeah. Okay. So Rinpoche was King Sailendra, yeah, the builder of Borobudur. Actually, not just Rinpoche, by the way. Over the years, I heard many of people in our sangha, and they also had flashbacks saying that they were also there, yeah, which is really quite possible, because we have, if you can make a connection with the Lama, then again and again you come back together through the force of the high being, high enlightened person's prayers, no? Because like Shantideva said, for as long as space exists, for as long as sentient beings are suffering, yeah, for that long will I come back to help all sentient beings, okay? So that means like for a really long time, yeah? So it means for life to life to life. So I heard many of our friends actually say, oh, actually, I also feel I was there, yeah, in Borobudur, yeah? And they're not all crazy. Maybe it's true, yeah? Okay? Because people sometimes do have these flashbacks, yeah? Okay? I mean, a lot of this past life stuff, like regression and all this, I actually don't believe, because sure, not everybody can have been an Egyptian princess, yeah, or in the court of King Louis XIV or whatever everybody thinks they were, I think most people, if they did a flashback, would be, I don't know, like a bird or an insect or having a horrible life in the Middle Ages, yeah. But in the case of people like Rinpoche, the High Lamas, it's different now because they have this clarity, yeah. I mean, not all the time, yeah, but they have it's like they have this deja vu and it comes back, they have this strong one actually like Rinpoche used to recognize when he used to go around and say, oh, I've been here before, And he meant not like last year, he meant like, I don't know, like 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago, yeah. So it's different, yeah, when people have like this clear consciousness that goes from life to life, That's why we respect so much the High Lamas of our lineage, because they have these extraordinary capacities that normal people don't have, yeah, okay? Okay, where's my list? Okay, so the third, let's say, Lama Gangchen incarnation that himself he recognized was King Sailendra of Java in the 8th century, okay, of the modern era, yeah. Okay, then the fourth one, actually, there's two. I'm not the number 4 or number 5. I'm not sure which one is before and which one's after the next 3. Yeah, okay, not quite sure about the dates. Yeah. Okay, first, maybe a first one was Mahasiddha Lakshminkara, also another lady, very important female Mahasiddha, yeah. So Lakshminkara, she's one of the 84 Mahasiddhas, and okay, we all know the story. She was, if you want, I'll find you the story quickly, and I'll read it to you, okay? Well, I can't find it anyway. She was a princess, yeah, from Odiana, yeah, and actually, her brother was Indrabhuti, very famous Indrabhuti, who was the so-called start of the Guhya Samaja lineage. Okay, but Lakshminkara actually is equally famous and important in her own right. Actually, so she was the sister of Indrabhuti. Okay, and anyway, she being the princess, it was decided that she should marry a king from a prince from another kingdom. Yeah, so at a certain age, she was sent off away from her Buddhist kingdom, where they'd had many beautiful Buddhist teachings and things, and she was sent off to this other kingdom. And when she got there, she was not pleased at all, because when she arrived, she saw her future husband, the prince. He arrived and he was in a hunting party. Yeah. So because she was a Buddhist and vegetarian, she was absolutely like shocked, and she just said, "No way, I'm not going to marry you." You know, she thought to herself. So what she did when she arrived at the palace is she started to fake that. I mean, it's not true. No, she started to fake that she was crazy. So she did, for example, she came with a dowry. You know, it's ancient India. Dowry is like loads of money, loads of jewels. So she got open the box and gave away all the jewels in the street. You know, to all the poor people, like a bit like San Francisco. Yeah, before she arrived, she'd given all the jewels away. Then when she got in the palace, she's like, threw off all her clothes, started dancing around and acting like she was completely mad. Yeah, okay. And then she got the ash from the fire and covered herself in ash. So the king thought, and he got the court doctor to examine her, and she did a really good impersonation of being mad for quite a long time. So finally, they said, "This woman is completely mad. She's unsuitable to marry our prince." Yeah. But then they thought, we can't send her back now. Also, she's given away all the money to the poor people. Yeah. So what will we do? So then she said, "I want to leave." And they said, "Please go leave." Yeah. So then she left the palace. And in the cemetery outside the city, yeah, there were various like caves and yogis' huts. So she went and resided there, okay, for many, many years. And like they kind of ignored her, yeah. Then one day, many years later, I don't know, like 12 years later or something, the king and the prince by then had become the king, and they arrived outside the cemetery and thought, "Oh, remember that woman, you were supposed to marry, the crazy one. I wonder if she's still there." So then they got off the horse and went to have a look, yeah. And they went and found her very simple hut, and they peeped in through its kind of like pallier, like straw, and very simple wood, and they peeked in. And they saw in there she was like floating in there, was kind of a pure land, a heaven, and she was floating in there, flying with all the dakas and dakinis. And they're like, "Oh," so then they knocked on the door and said, "Oh, we're really sorry that we didn't recognize who you are. Yeah, please will you become?" The king said, "Will you become my guru?" And the Lakshminkara said, "No, sorry, no chance. Yeah. However, if you want to know my teachings, go back to your palace, and there is the cleaner of your palace, yeah. Okay, and if you ask your cleaner, then you can receive teachings actually from her, yeah. Okay." And so anyway, so that's what the king had to do, because in India, remember, this is a big thing. They have this caste system, yeah, very, very strongly enforced caste system, yeah. So then the king had to go back, yeah, and received teachings from the lowest person in his palace, the sweeper. And he said, "How will I know which one it is? I've got loads of cleaners." And he said, "Oh, the one who's always outside being kind to the animals. Yeah, really sweet, kind one. Yeah, okay. So you'll know it's her. Yeah." In some of the Tibetan texts, it says the cleaner's a man, but actually, if you look deeply, other texts say it's a woman. I believe it was a woman, actually. Yeah. So anyway, so the king went back, and he received Lakshminkara's lineage from this other lady who was Lakshminkara's let's say lineage holder. Okay. So anyway, so Lakshminkara was also incredibly important, famous Mahasiddha, yeah. So what does she do? Well, she's in the Chakrasamvara lineage, yeah, very important, yeah. There was a special lineage of Vajrayogini called Chinnamasta, which was founded by her, which actually Lama Gangchen gave us the initiation of a couple of times. Actually, one of the first forms of Vajrayogini, actually. She's considered to be the Yeshikandroma of the Yamanturka system, also the Yeshikandroma of the Guya Samaja system. I mean, basically, she was like everywhere. She's so important and so famous, yeah? Okay? Anyway, so there's all kinds of teachings about, like all kinds of Namtha stories about Lakshminkara, yeah? Anyway, very, very important high tantric teacher, yeah. Oh yes, and also Indra Bhuti, yeah, who's now so famous. He's one of the Mahasiddhas, and the Mahasiddha book, no, of Abhayadatta is Mahasiddha #1, no. So actually, he got enlightened like this. Lakshminkara got enlightened first, yeah, okay, and became super famous, yeah. And then her brother Indra Bhuti got to hear about it and actually was jealous that his sister had achieved enlightenment. So he thought, my sister has achieved enlightenment and I haven't, yeah. So I need to make more effort and practice more. So then he started to practice really seriously, yeah? And so then finally he achieved enlightenment too. In the 84 Mahasiddha book, it says, okay, he actually, according to the legend, he received the lineage of Guya Samaji, yeah. But in the book of the Mahasiddhas, yeah, it says what he used to do is, as a king, yeah. So he had like this, loads of jewels, lots of bling, and he used to sit there and look at all the jewels on his hand, and he used to look like this, and and looking at the lights coming from all the jeweled rings in his hands, finally he understood emptiness, yeah. And in that way, he freed his mind from suffering, yeah. So that's the story in the Abhayadatta 84 Mahasiddha book, yeah. Anyway, so very, very, very important, yeah. Okay, let's have a look here. 1 second. It's all so interesting, no? Okay, so let me just have a look. Okay, so anyway, so Lakshminkara, there's 5 or 6 of her books, of her writings that are still left. I mean, okay, maybe she wasn't spending all the time writing, but anyway, there's one very famous text that's in the Kangyo, and it's called Advaya Siddhi, yeah, which is how to realize non-duality, yeah, which is very, very famous. And we used to many times we used to sing that in Albaniano. Like our friend Rosanna, no, who passed away, she used to sing that very nicely in Sanskrit, yeah. So that's something we should try and continue. That's very, very nice, yeah. And so anyway, so Lakshminkara made this important Vajrayogini sadhana, yeah, which is the first form of Vajrayogini, actually. Before, now we have Indra Dakini and Naraka Dakini and Maitri Dakini. But as far as we know, the Lakshminkara form of Vajrayogini was the first one, yeah. It was, yeah. Because before that, it was all Chakrasamvara, yeah. But Princess Lakshminkara, Mahasiddha Lakshminkara, she, let's say, had this revelation, and she started this practice called the severed head form of Vajrayogini, okay, which is also known as Chinnamundra Vajravarahi, yeah. So anyway, so there's Vajrayogini, golden one, no head, yeah, and there's a yellow Dakini and a green Dakini beside her, yeah, okay. And our 3 Om mantra that we use nowadays from the narrow Dakini is these 3 mantras put together from this form of Chinnamatra, yeah? Okay, so very important. Also, a very important thing about Lakshminkara is, in our NgalSo practice, we do like Om, Om, Soha, we do all this Puja, Oma, and everything, yeah? Touching all the points in the body, no? Yeah? So, okay, this is not something that our Lama Gangchen make up himself, yeah? Okay? Actually, the first person in Buddhist history who did this practice of putting like the seed, as far as we know, put the seed letters on the points of the body and touch the points was actually Mahasiddha Lakshminkara, okay, which is Lama Gangchen's past life, yeah. So Rinpoche actually is like very authentic. Is going back to the ancient Indian Buddhist tradition, showing us how to practice, yeah. So we're very, very lucky, that he shared all these things with us. And he always used to say that when we did all this, like Om, Ahom, Soha, he used to say it was penetrating the Vajra body with clear light through the bija, through the seed syllable, yeah? Okay? So then so it means, for example, why Om here, no? then is filling up our subtle body with the holy energy of Supreme Healer Vairocana, and is penetrating our subtle energy body with all these profound energies, yeah, okay? So deep, so powerful, so meaningful, yeah? And actually, that's what the ancient Indian yogini tantras say in Sanskrit, yeah? So this is not something Rinpoche, in case anybody thought Rinpoche like just sat there one day and made it all up, it's completely not true. Rinpoche, I discovered all this as I gradually studied, like Sanskrit and all these, and Buddhist history and all these things, So our practice that Rinpoche showed us, just like this, like singing and dancing and all this, is a very, very authentic practice going back to the ancient Indian Mahayana, Vajrayana tradition, of course, yeah. So he said, I'm showing you like tantric song, tantric dancing, because that's how it actually was in the ancient Indian time, okay? So, we need to keep up what he taught us, continue the feeling, okay? Okay, then, Lakshminkara, okay, gave one teaching called Chitta Kalpa Papihara Dristi. Anyway, it's how to relax the mind, that means, okay? Yeah? Okay, so she taught that to, Lakshminkara taught it to her female disciples, Mahasiddha Kankala and Mahasiddha Mekala, who are also in the 84 Mahasiddha book, yeah? Okay? Yeah? Oh, and then many, many other things, yeah? Okay? Many beautiful things, yeah? Anyway, she had like 7 main disciples, all of which were women, actually. Anyway, very beautiful. We need to write down all this in detail. So Lakshminkara, so important, such an interesting spiritual master. And Rinpoche always said, he always used to make a lot of jokes about when he was a woman, yeah, in his past life, yeah. He always said, I'm a feminist because I used to be a woman, yeah, okay. Anyway, so another great important Mahasiddha, yeah, okay. Okay, then let's have a look. Another one. Yeah, Mahasiddhas Mekala and Kankala, they were the sisters who also, they developed like these siddhas, these attainments through the practice of Chinnamastra and the other practices that were transmitted by Lakshminkara. And they could also like cut their head off, walk around with it and put it back on, yeah? They had all these kind of like miracle powers, yeah? Okay. So there, if you want to read their story, they're in the 84 Mahasiddhas book of the Buddha's Lion book in English, yeah? So interesting, yeah? Okay. Let's have one more look before we stop, yeah? Yeah, so many incredibly interesting things, really. Yeah. Actually, Mahasiddha had 7 main disciples were all women, yeah? So, okay, she had Makala and Kankala, and I'll tell you their names just because I'm sure you've never heard of them, yeah? The first one was called Gyana Devi Malini. Second one was called Luha Kuti. Third one was called Luha Runi. Third one was called Niti Dobani. Dobani means like a washerwoman, yeah? Fourth one is called Sukuti Chamaruni, yeah? The fifth one was called Patra Pendini Sabaruni, and the next one was called Gengi Ganduni, yeah. So she had mainly like female disciples, yeah. Plus, one of her disciples taught the king, no, yeah. And then she says she had like hundreds of thousands of disciples, yeah. Of course, yeah. Okay. Anyway, so interesting, yeah. Okay. We'll talk more about her in detail, yeah, later on, yeah. Okay. Okay. The next, number 6 previous incarnation of Lama Gangchen Rinpoche was Mahasiddha Darikapa, yeah, okay. So also incredibly famous, also in the Lives of the 84 Mahasiddhas, if you want to read it. It's a really good book. If you're interested, you should definitely get a copy. It's so interesting, yeah? We spent many, many years with Rinpoche receiving all the initiations of the 84 Mahasiddhas, yeah? Why? Because each one is showing that it's possible to transform any kind of life, any kind of situation if we practice the Dharma, yeah? So it's really, really, really inspiring, yeah? And also the lineage gurus of the practices that we still do, no? So super nice, so super interesting. So another one of the Eightfold Mahasiddhas that was Lama Gangchen in a past life is Mahasiddha Dharikapa. Yeah? Now Dharikapa, actually, he was very famous for being a lineage guru of Chakrasamvara Haruka. He was also a lineage guru of Vajrayogini and Kalachakra, actually. Okay. And also a lineage guru of many Chenrezi practices, okay? And the Prajnaparamita, so lots of things, okay? And okay, he's really quite famous, Dharikapa, yeah? So, I mean, okay, very famous, yeah? So Dharikapa, yeah? He was, okay, let's see. Let me find here. 1 second. Okay, so his guru was the Mahasiddha Luipa. The Luipa is the one who used to sit by the banks of the Ganges and eat the horrible insides of fishes that the fishermen had thrown away. That would be like really horrible, yeah? Okay. Luipa before was a prince, yeah? But then, anyway, he met a guru and went on the tantric path, yeah? And finally, he met one Dakini who told him he had to do like this if he wanted to achieve enlightenment. So you sit there for many years on the banks of the Ganges, eating the fish guts and meditating that everything had one taste, yeah? And finally achieved enlightenment and became a very, very, very famous master of our Chakrasamvara system, yeah? Let me find the story. Another very long biography here, okay? Okay, so anyway. Actually, I'll read you a different one, not the one that's in the Eightfold Mahasiddha book, yeah? It's very nice, yeah? So, okay, so anyway, Dharikapa, yeah? He was king, okay? And one day he was out hunting in the forest, yeah? And okay, so anyway, one day, so Luipa had built a hut. I'll now read the story. He said Luipa had built a hut by the bank of the river and was eating fish guts, yeah? He was attained siddhi realization by meditating, and he was known by the name of the master Luipa. He had no clothes, so he used to sit there like naked, yeah? His body was affected by the sun and icy wind and turned blue, yeah? His hair, also blue, stuck out crazily in all directions, yeah? So then King Dharikapa shows up, yeah? Okay? With his hunting party, and it says the king arrived with his retinue surrounded by the 4 kinds of troop of his army because he was going to another country with his army, yeah? And then he met Luipa, who was blue and terrifying with disheveled hair. And then the king said to his soldiers, look over there, look at his weird hair, look at his funny color, yeah? He's a bad person. He can't do anything. And they all started like clapping and laughing and making fun of him, yeah? Okay? So then Luipa, like somehow, his like past personality like reappeared, yeah? Because actually he's an enlightened master, yeah? But it says his past samskaras, his past personalities start to manifest. So he said, Badra, poof, like this. And he looked at them and he froze all the king and all the army, yeah? Yeah? So anyway, so then the king apologized profoundly because the Mahasiddha Luipa had frozen all his soldiers. So I said, please, I'm so sorry, yeah? Because he recognized he made a mistake, yeah? So then, having received Luipa's feet on his head, he asked him to unstiffen all his soldiers, yeah? And he said also, please, I'm so sorry, become my guru, you know? I'd like to make offerings to you. So then Luipa said, okay. And then he released all the soldiers from the stiffening enchantment, yeah. And then the king said, okay, army, my soldiers, please leave, yeah. But then the Luipa refused to go to the king's palace. He did not intend to become an object of the king's offerings, and instead he walked around carrying horrible fish guts in a basket, yeah, okay. And in the east, in a great city called Jalandhara, so famous, no? Jalandhara, near the king's palace, in a gatehouse, Luipa stayed there, cooking his fish guts, which he liked very much, and used to have them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner 3 times a day. Some kind of horrible sashimi that he used to like to eat, but everything was one taste, and everything was new bliss and emptiness, so it was okay, yeah. So anyway, that morning, the time had come for the great king of the city, who was called Dharikapa, to go to his pleasure grove. Okay, sorry, the king before was not Dharikapa, now is coming Dharikapa, yeah? Yeah? So, in front of the king, Dharikapa, an outcast was going along the path, yeah? And he met the master Luipa. So the outcast said to Luipa, Yogin, don't stay here. The king is going to come and we have to sweep the path, yeah? Okay? But Luipa said, I don't care. So even though the sweeper dragged him away with his hand, he did not move, yeah? So then the outcast person, the sweeper, got 30 people and tried to pull the weeper off the road, but they couldn't move him, yeah? So that was no good. So then what they did is they brought an elephant, yeah? Elephants are super strong, yeah? And they put ropes around Luipa and they tried to pull him away off the road, but nothing, not moving 1 centimeter, yeah? So in fact, the rope broke, yeah, okay? So Luipa's just sat there with his bowl of fish guts, eating his fish guts, ignoring them all, saying, I'm not moving here, do what you like, yeah? So then the outcast, he said, okay, let's cut him into pieces, yeah? Let's chop him up and throw all the pieces away. So then all these people, they came with knives and they tried to cut Luipa into pieces, like with machetes type of thing, yeah? But every time they struck him, it's like the blades would not penetrate his skin, and he just sat there very peacefully eating his sashimi, like very tranquil, yeah? And whatever they did to him, it was like nothing. They couldn't do anything at all, yeah? So then they all went back and said, I'm very sorry, there's this yogi in the middle of the road where you're supposed to go, and we can't move him. And the King Dharikapa said, don't worry, he must be a yogi, don't punish him. Let him stay there, yeah? So then the king, he said, I want to go and see this guy, yeah? So then he got in his palanquin. A palanquin is like 2 sticks, no? There's a little box, yeah? And you sit in it and 4 people carry you, yeah? So until modern times, actually, even now in the Chinese Buddhist temples, they have these palanquins to take you up the mountains. I was looking at Kozila's book, yeah? And there's many pictures of Rinpoche going up and down like these. When Rinpoche was older, no? Of course, when he was younger, he used to walk, yeah? But when he got old, he used to go to these holy Buddhist places like Wu Tai Shan and all kinds of incredible places. And he used to, when they had a palanquin, he used to get in. So they still have these things, yeah? Okay, so anyway. So then the king got in the palanquin, and then all his kind of attendants came with parasols, victory banners, streamers, incense lamps. His whole retinue came with him, yeah? So that when the king went off in procession, then he arrived where Luipa was, yeah? Mahasiddha Luipa, yeah? So when Luipa saw Dharikapa, he actually felt a lot of compassion for him, yeah? So then, to break King Dharikapa's pride, Luipa went like this, yeah? This is what we call a threatening mudra. It's not like the Italian version, but anyway, this is like a Garuda, no? Like the king of the birds. These are the horns of the Garuda, yeah? So he showed the threatening mudra. And King Dharikapa and all his retinue were stiffened, yeah? Okay? So then, the Mahasiddha Luipa sang this song to King Luipa. He said, okay, Kyema, without remainder, the 3 realms are just so. This without remainder is just so, yeah? Within that greatness is no self and no other. As for you are the servant of that, yeah? Emma, Samsara is so wonderful. What can be done by the unabandoned other, yeah? Sorry, translators, yeah? Okay. Maybe I'll read it again more slowly, yeah? Without remainder, the three realms are just so, yeah? This, without remainder, is just so, yeah? Within that greatness is no self and no other. As for you, you are the servant of that. Emma, samsara is so wonderful. What can be done by the unabandoned other? Yeah. Then he continues. Yeah. The earth. This is Luipa singing to Darikapa. Yeah. On the earth, the road is my sleeping mat. Yeah. The pillow of my hand is my very soft cushion. The lamp of the moon and the fan of the wind are good company. As for the canopy of the sky above, released from desire, it acts like a woman. King, like you, in the three realms, I'm the king, yeah? Okay? So anyway, so Luipa sang this doha to him, okay? In the Abhaya Datta book, yeah, the Buddha's lines, they put short, yeah? This is the longer version, yeah? Anyway, so when Luipa sang that, the king knew that he was a real Mahasiddha and faith arose to him, yeah? So anyway, so then Luipa unfroze him and froze everybody, yeah? And then Darikapa said, oh, Luipa, please come to my palace. I'd like to make offerings to you, yeah? But then Darikapa thought, I want to see if he's really liberated or not, yeah? If he's really got attachment or no attachment, yeah? So then King Darikapa, he got all his queens, many queens and many daughters and all the beautiful women. He brought them all first and he said, you've got to put on your best clothes and your best makeup, all your best jewelry. You come here. And I said, I offer all these to you, okay? So, but then Luipa said, you know what? The daughters of the Devas are 7 times better than the daughters of humans, yeah? He said, the daughters of the Nagas are 7 times better than the daughters of the Devas. And he said, the daughters of the Asuras are 7 times better than even these, yeah? So then he entered into Samadhi and called some of them in front of the king, yeah? And they really were more beautiful. And the king was like, wow, it's true, you know? Yeah. So then instead the king's mind was drawn out from samsara. That means he was no longer interested in being a king and all the beautiful things, because he thought, this is nothing, yeah? My beautiful things are rubbish in compared to the beautiful things of the Devas and the Nagas and the Asuras. Was much better than my experience. I want to be at a higher level. Even I want to be out of samsara. So then Darikapa made a request to Mahasiddha Luipa and said, please accept me as your disciple. Yeah. So then Luipa gave Darikapa the oral instructions, the initiation and the oral instructions, actually, of Chakrasamvara. And he said to him, abandon a king's rule and a king's pride, and instead take a low place, yeah? Make yourself the servant of a prostitute and practice there. And by practicing what I told you, perform the activity of yogic discipline, yeah? Okay, so then in this way, the king's pride and arrogance were broken, and he was made the servant of a prostitute, yeah? Okay, so then there's the story that we know that he used to live in a hut in a garden, no? And there was this lady who was like the, let's say, madame, or let's say the leader of the temple dancers, yeah? And he used to massage them, massage their feet, take care of everything, and he used to live in a hut in the garden after he finished his work meditating, yeah? So then, okay, by meditating, he attained Siddhi after 12 years. And the master's head was surrounded by 5 colored lights, yeah? So Rinpoche said, when he started to share self-healing in 1993, in Torino and Velletri and Milano, he said to us that in this past life, when he was Dharikapa, he had to spend 12 years sitting in a hut meditating, and it was really hard work to achieve the realizations, but he was giving us the same possibility of enlightenment, but in a super easy, super soft, super nice way, yeah? So we were very lucky, and we should do it, yeah? So it's good advice for us, okay? So anyway, so there's a story that one guy who was in the, let's say, some people say it was like a temple, which is possible, no? Anyway, so this guy had been enjoying himself, eating a lot, drinking a lot, dancing with all the girls and whatever, yeah? And finally went out into the garden to get some air, and he saw there was the hut at the bottom of the garden, and he saw some lights coming out, yeah? So then he peeked in through it was like straw, peek in, and he saw many rainbows. It says here, rainbows around the guru's head, no? So then he rushed back and told the lady who was, actually this lady was considered afterwards an emanation of Vajravarahi, no? But anyway, he went back, yeah, and told her. And so she rushed out and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't recognize you." And she said, I'm back reading this Namta, this story. She said, it said she had regrets, and she said, "My trusted servant, please forgive me. Since you are a Siddha yogin, it's not right that you be my servant. Please, can I be your servant?" Yeah, okay, yeah. So then, and then she said, either can I be your servant, or if not, please can you go away? Yeah. And she said, after she said that, the king Dharikapa, the yogin king, he sang this doha. He said, he said, actions of joy are joyless. Yeah, no fun. Yeah. Having many children and having a lot of money is joyless. Yeah. If one grasps the kingdom of the three bodies, three Buddha bodies, that's joyful, yeah? Actions of bliss are not blissful. Worldly bliss is not blissful, but spotless bliss, uncontaminated bliss, is blissful. Then he continues. This Namtha is much better, because in the a red book, no, they only put this short. This is like more detail, no? So then he continues to sing, better than me, sang. Actions of benefit are not of benefit, yeah? Worldly benefit is not of benefit. To realize the Dharma Dhatu, sphere of reality, that's benefit, yeah? The three bodies, which are the pure nature, are not within the realm of experiencing false conceptions. Mind, which is the intention of the Dhammakaya, the Buddha's mind, is inexhaustible. To have an experience of that is truly blissful, yeah? Okay? Okay, actually, let's see if I can post this. I don't know. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know. It's possible, yeah? Very nice. No, let's see if I can post. The comments, actually, usually we switch off, but by mistake, they're left on, so I'll post it on the side, yeah, okay? However, I actually prefer if people don't comment, yeah, because I think it's better, no, because if it's like internet etiquette, no? Because when somebody's talking, better not interrupt, no? Okay? Let's see if I can post this on the side, yeah? Let's see if it works. I don't know. Let's try, yeah? So it's quite a... Oh, yes, okay, here we are. Let's see if I can post that, yeah? That's nice, no? Does it go? Oh, no, maybe I can't post, yeah? Could we switch off comments, I think, yeah? Okay, never mind. I'll post this in our WhatsApp or Signal groups, okay? Then if you like to translate, you're welcome, okay? So then Dharikapa said, after next year, though you will desire it in your hearts, you will not see me. Yeah, okay? Yeah? So it says in that country, so anyway, so then he left the temple, yeah? And went out to help many people, yeah? And it says in that country was a yogin called Nagpo Tulzuk, so that's probably like Krishna something in Sanskrit, yeah, a yogin, an Indian yogin, yeah. So then the lady, who was the head of the prostitute, she said to him, my servant, my ex-servant, is a siddha, yeah, an enlightened person. So you should go and find him, yeah. Yeah. So then the Nagpo Chirpa, the Krishna Chirpa, the Krishna yogi, he prostrated to Master Dharikapa and requested oral instructions. So then King Dharikapa sang to him another beautiful doha, yeah? So he sang Eho. So it says, when the black agar wood, yeah, like we have agar 8 now, when the black agar wood is rotten inside, it's black agar, yeah? This is made into an offering for the devas, for the gods. If we are ignorant of inner divine existence, why should we make offerings to external gods? Yeah, very important, no? Yeah. So it means we need to like develop divine pride ourselves, yeah, okay? Not make offerings to outer gods, yeah? Husband and wife are making the offering of union. This is the way that is told by Dharika. Incense wood, tamdram, and glorious bilwa fruit, and with its beautiful flower-like leaves, so green, why place them on your head? The threefold worlds have been completely conquered by me, but not with a sword, and not with a club. By the personal kindness of the Lord Luipa, the sword of non-duality pierced Dharikapa. As for the mind, the mandala of spaciousness is changeless. So hope is forever cut off. The flower of natural space, shining like crystal and gold, is like the five winds. Aho kye. Okay, so another beautiful doha that Dharikapa sung, yeah? So having said that, King Dharikapa dissolved into the sky like a rainbow subsiding into space. His skandhas, without remainder, were enlightened, yeah? So that he took what's called the rainbow body, yeah? Okay? So his physical body became like transparent and dissolved, and it says he went to the pure land of the Dakinis with hundreds and thousands of followers, yeah? So I always used to joke to all our friends, maybe it's not a joke, yeah? That when he left to the pure land of the Dakinis, yeah, we were around the corner having a coffee or whatever they had in ancient India, and that's why we're still here, yeah. All the rest went to the pure land of the Dakinis, but unfortunately we're not now. So we're the leftover generation. So he's come back again to help us, and we'll continue to do so again and again until we and many others achieve awakening. Yeah. So then it says, also in King Dharikapa's minister, who was called Dingipa, faith arose. He asked for Master Luipa to accept him. So the master, Luipa accepted, yeah, okay? Okay, so it says you should give up the pride of being a minister and go to the city of Shravasti and practice by beating rice. And in that life you will achieve the supreme city of Mahamudra. Yeah, so Luipa prophesies. So then Dingipa, having grasped his pranas like pranayama, beat rice, yeah? And then he also achieved enlightenment, yeah? Okay? Anyway, so, and so on, and so on. So then it goes on and on and on, all beautiful things, yeah? Okay? Sometimes they say that Dingipa was actually running a bar, yeah? So there's many different versions of all these stories, yeah? Anyway, so very, very beautiful. We have so many beautiful stories, actually. There's also many most beautiful stories about Lakshmi Kara. Maybe another time I find and I read more, yeah? So rich, so beautiful, the stories of our lineage, yeah? Also true, yeah? Okay? Anyway, so Rinpoche said many times that he was his past life, he was Mahasiddha Dharikapa, okay? Okay, then, hope you find this all interesting. Then, number 7, past incarnation of Oh no, sorry, I've missed one, sorry. Okay, so we had Mahasiddha Lakshminkara and Mahasiddha Dharikapa, who were in the 9th centuries in India, okay, North India, yeah. Then the next one actually was somebody called Dorje Dujom, yeah, okay, who's one of the 25 main disciples of Padmasambhava, okay. So this is all very interesting. So Kyabje Tritang Dorje Chang, his past incarnation, he was Padmasambhava, okay, the great Indian master who brought Tantric Buddhism to Tibet, yeah. In Tibet, he had 25 main disciples, yeah. And two of those was, one was the past life of Kyabje Gonsa Rinpoche, and one was the past life of our Lama Gangchen Rinpoche. Our Lama Gangchen Rinpoche was called Dorje Dujom. Now, I'm not sure who was the past life of Kyabje Gonsa Rinpoche, but I know that he was one of the 25 disciples of Padmasambhava, yeah. So you see they're all going down through the ages together, yeah, okay. Let's see if I can find something about him. Let's have a look. 1 second, yeah. Okay, so anyway, Dorje Dujom, okay. He was Tibetan, yeah. And he was a minister of King Trizon Detsen, yeah. Okay, King Trizon Detsen, super famous, yeah. He's the one who invited Padmasambhava. He also was the one who brought Buddhism to Tibet, no? Yeah, and many famous stories, no? You have two wives, and they bring the Jowo and the Ramoshe Buddhas, yeah? The Nepalese and the Chinese wives of King Trizon Detsen. Each brought one important Buddha statue as their dowry to Tibet, yeah? Also, he sent the forgotten who, very famous, anyway, forgot his name, to India. Yeah, they come back and made the Tibetan alphabet so they could then start to write down all the Buddha's teachings, yeah? Okay, very important, yeah? Very important time in Buddhist history, yeah? Anyway, so Dorje Dujom was a minister to King Trizon Detsen, okay? And he became a minister while he was still a young man, yeah? Okay? So anyway, he was part of the party that invited Padmasambhava to Tibet, yeah, according to the Buddhist histories. This is written in the history of Padmasambhava. There's a famous biography of Padmasambhava called Padma Katang, yeah, okay? So all this story is in there, yeah? So anyway, so they invited Padmasambhava to Tibet, yeah? And then, so they went with him to Nepal, okay? And then they traveled with him, yeah, to Tibet, yeah. And then they had, what they did is they were coming to Tibet, but then Padmasambhava kind of decided to stay somewhere for a few months, yeah. So then they came with huge amount of gold powder, yeah, and said, please come to Tibet, yeah. But then Padmasambhava got all their gold, like gold dust, and he went and threw it all away, but it's very windy in the Himalayas, yeah. So he got the bag and he threw it like this, and all the gold dust, it kind of blew away, yeah. But then as the gold powder touched the ground, it transformed all the rocks and the soil that it touched into more gold and more jewels, yeah. So then they were super impressed, obviously, yeah, and developed deep faith in Padmasambhava, okay. So anyway, so Dorje Dujom was one of the early translators, actually there's 21 of them, who made the dangerous journey to India to learn. They learned Sanskrit and then they came back, yeah, and they were the first ones who learned the first Tibetan alphabet, yeah, and also brought back many Indian Sanskrit scriptures, yeah. So they were the first ones to start to translate the Buddhist teachings into Tibetan, yeah, into the new Tibetan language, yeah, okay. Okay, so anyway, so then Dorje Dujom was initiated by Padmasambhava, yeah, and then when he was meditating, he had a vision that the Samye temple was almost complete, yeah. Anyways, all beautiful stories, yeah, okay. He had many kinds of miracle powers, Dorje Dujom, yeah. And for example, he had a purva, no, like a magic dagger made of meteorite, and he stuck that through a rock near Samye, yeah. And he was able to fly in the sky at the speed of wind and he was able to had these 8 siddhis, no? So he could pass through mountains, he could fly in the sky, and so on. Yeah, okay. Okay, then later in his life, he went to Yardrock, yeah, very famous, yeah, and he translated many of the tantric texts there, yeah, and he translated what's called the 7-day teachings, yeah, yeah. So Rinpoche used to always talk about, we need to do, what was it? Relax the mind, yeah. He was always talking about that, yeah, like 7-day, yeah, okay, make the mind happy, yeah. That's a very short biography. Anyway, he's one of the 25 main disciples. Let me see if there's anything else here. Okay, Dorji Dujom means the indestructible, the Vajra subduer of demons. Yeah, okay. Very famous, important. Yeah. Anyway, so all very interesting, no? Actually, I've got a beautiful picture here. You can't see it. There's Pamasambhava and his 25 disciples, yeah? So nice, no? Like, so NgalSo Rinpoche and His Holiness Kyabje Trijang Dorje Chang Rinpoche have known each other since, like, literally forever, at least like 1,000 years minimum. Actually, probably more, yeah? Incredible, no? Okay. I'll do one more, then for today I'll stop, yeah? Because actually 13 is a lot, not even saying in a short way, okay? So I'll tell you one more of Lama Gangchen Rinpoche's past lives tonight, and then next time on Thursday we continue with some more stories, okay? Impossible to say it all in a short time, yeah? Okay, why I'm saying this is because, also our Rinpoche was an incredible master, no? With many, many incarnations, yeah? Like I say, according to our Gelugpa tradition, he's considered to have 5 incarnations, but actually, yes, as far as I know, 13. Well, obviously really much more, but what he talks about was 13, okay? What he told me is had 13, like, famous siddhas and masters and mistresses as lives, yeah? Past lives, yeah? Okay, so the next one, last one for tonight, I'd like to talk about is Rinpoche's past life in the 12th century as Tropu Lotsawa, the translator of Tropu, yeah? Tropu is one place, actually not so far away from Gangchen. And he was also a Lotsawa. You can see there's like a pattern here, yeah? Like Rinpoche was 2 Mahasiddhas in India. He was Lakshmankara and then Dharikapa. And then afterwards he was Dorji Dujom, who was like this very important translator who helped to bring the Dharma to Tibet. And then the next life he was also another very important translator, because that's how it goes, no? With reincarnation. You continue from one life to the next, the same kind of idea, the same kind of dedication, the same wish, no? So let's have a look here. Let's have a look what we have here. Okay. It's actually, fortunately, Tropu Lotsawa, there's lots of information, yeah? And there's a book called The Blue History by somebody called Go Lotsawa, yeah, which is a history of Tibetan Buddhism up to the 14th century. There's obviously a Tibetan version, and there's an English version. I have the English version. It's like this in Albaniano, yeah? So it tells all these stories of these masters, and inside there is a lot of information about Tropu Lotsawa, yeah? Now, Tropu is near Gangchen, yeah, quite near, a few hours away now. And Rinpoche, like when he was young, yeah, when he in the early 20s, after in the Cultural Revolution of China, yeah, he stayed there for a while, yeah, and what he did is well, I'll tell you the story, but Tropu Lotsawa, he made like a very beautiful, huge Maitreya statue there, which then fell into disrepair in the 20th century, yeah. So then Rinpoche, when he was staying there, like in a very simple way as a healer, kind of taking refuge in this small place, yeah, he rebuilt the statue of Maitreya that was there that he'd made in his previous lives, yeah. And when we first went back to Tibet, yeah, the Tropu Monastery, which before was an extremely famous monastery, a center of many great yogis and so on, was almost completely destroyed, yeah. So Rinpoche, what he did is he helped to rebuild the Tropu Monastery. One thing he did in the 90s is 96, 97, is he did the Maitreya Big Love Project, yeah. So together with many different wealthy friends, yeah, they put lots of money, and especially Louisa Helena, and they bought in India, I think 9 huge big Maitreya statues. Like big means like 3.5 meters high, like really big, yeah. And then he sent these Maitreya statues to India, Nepal, and Tibet, yeah. And in Tibet, one of the places he sent the big Maitreya statue was to Tropu Monastery. Why? Because in his past life he was there. So he always said that, you know, he has like a life-to-life connection with the places that he was connected with in the other lives. Like, for example, Tropu, even though he was there in the 12th century, still he has a connection, yeah? Still needs to take care in some way, even though now he's Gelugpa, there is Kagyupa, yeah? But still he has this feeling to help and take care. So what he could do in this life was give offering, give money, and also this big Maitreya statue, yeah? Also there, they have something called the Tropu Kumbho, which is kind of like a Borobudur, yeah? Which, anyway, maybe I'll tell you the story, yeah? Because this is like Rinpoche's activities in his past life in the 12th century, yeah? So very, very interesting. Let me just find it, okay? Okay, hopefully that's... Okay, I've got lots of Tibetan versions. Let me find one in English, yeah? Like I say, one day we will finish the definitive version of this book, yeah? Okay, I'll look in our old 9-sided crystal, yeah? Okay, so in the 12th century means actually Atisha time, yeah? When Atisha brought the new transmission of Tibetan Buddhism, yeah? The first transmission was when Padmasambhava brought the Dharma to Tibet in the 8th century, yeah? The new transmission was in the 12th century when Atisha brought the Dharma again. Yeah? Why it had to bring it again is because Buddhism had fallen into decline because of opposition from shamans in Tibet. Yeah? So it was almost extinguished. But anyway, somehow survive a little bit. And then the new king, Janshub-U, and his nephew, Yeshia-U, they invite Atisha to Tibet, as we all know the story. Yeah, okay. So after, then there was again the flourishing of the Dharma from Atisha. Yeah, and also come Naropa and what's he called? Forgotten his name. Milarepa's guru, very famous. Sorry, I forgot his name. Yeah, the doctor. No, what was he called? Anyway, Mapa. Yeah, Guru Mapa, and then there was Milarepa, Gampopa. There were the Kadampa Geshis. There was this incredible flourishing of Dharma at that time in the 12th century. Okay. So anyway, so let me read you a little bit from the Tibetan history. Okay. So actually, it says there's one lineage of the Kagyupa tradition called Tropu Kagyu, and this comes from Tropu Monastery, which is in Sang in central Tibet, and it was founded by Tropu Lotsawa, aka Rinpoche in the past life, yeah? So, according to both our Rinpoche and the Blue History of Go Lotsawa, this very famous Tibetan history book, Tropu Lotsawa was born the nephew of these famous lamas called NgalSo Rinpoche and Kundan Lepa, yeah? Okay, why they're famous is they were the hard sons of a great Nyingma disciple, Pagmo Drupa. Okay, I know for most of you that doesn't mean much, but he was a super famous, important master in Tibet, yeah? Okay? So anyway, Tropu Lotsawa was famous for 3 things. He invited 3 super important famous Mahasiddhas to Tibet, yeah? 2, he built 3 enormous big Maitreya statues. And thirdly, he translated 300 texts from Sanskrit to Tibetan, yeah? Actually, Rinpoche has left me about 300 texts to translate from Tibetan to English. I have to do the same, yeah? Follow my guru, yeah? Anybody like to help, you're very welcome. We have about 300 to translate, yeah? So please, extremely welcome. Get in touch with Sharon or me, okay? Or Carmen or Sarah, yeah? To one of our publication team, yeah? Anybody with translation skills, please join us. We have a lot to do, 300 texts, yeah? Okay? Anyway, so Tropu Lotsawa is famous for these great deeds of this, yeah? So anyway, so he has like a very nice story. Let me tell you a little bit of it. Okay, so anyway, Tropu Lotsawa was born in the water snake year. Also, Rinpoche was born in the snake year, yeah? 3 years after the death of the great master Pagmo Drugpa. Yeah? Okay, his parents were called Jopen and Shremo Salje. His incredible intelligence was apparent when he was very young. By the time he was 6, he could read the Buddhist scriptures. And at the age of 8, he was introduced to his uncle, NgalSo Rinpoche. At the age of 10, he entered a true monastery, yeah, and he became like a novice monk, yeah. So at the age of 11, he studied Pramana Vertica, and at 12, he entered Sakya Monastery. Okay, Sakya is near Gangchen. And Tunla was saying also, he was in Sakya Monastery now also. Jamyang is a monk of Rinpoche's family, no? He's a monk of Sakya, no? So in Rinpoche's family, they have like actually Gelugpas, Sakyas, Nyingmapas, all kinds of people, no? So Trungpa Lotsawa entered Sakya Monastery and became one of the main disciples of Sonam Gyaltsen, famous Sakya master, yeah? And he became very good, and he won all the debates in the debating yard. Okay, so then at the age of 17, he made it like big offering to Sakya Gompa, and then went back to True Gompa. True Monastery had been founded by his uncle, no? Yeah, like it was very small at that time, yeah. So then he invited a very old Lama who was 88 years old, called Seton Kunzang, and the heart disciple of Nurpa, to come and teach him about Tantra. So from Lama Seton, he learned 500 mandala rituals, so not even the Vajravali, which has got 43. He learned 500 different mandalas, such as the Vajradhatu mandala, which we know because it's in the Vajravali, okay? Then it said, one night, his guru, Lama Seton, saw Vajrasana, Vajrasana directly, the wealth Buddha, no? So next day, he initiated Trungpa Lotsawa into the Vajrasana wealth practice, yeah? Okay, then at the age of 19, he started to learn Sanskrit, yeah? He learned to translate from Sanskrit to Tibetan with one famous Lotsawa called Zangerba, and soon became an expert in, not so easy actually, Sanskrit to Tibetan translation, but became expert in this, yeah? So in return, he gave his Sanskrit teacher the Vajrasana Jainam and commentary, yeah? And then he met one teacher called Zen Lotsawa, and he understood the Mahamudra. Okay, then age 20, he became a fully ordained monk, yeah, and became called Gelong Jampa Pel Glorious Maitreya, and that was his name, yeah, Rinpoche's name in that time, yeah. So okay, get this, okay. Maybe you're feeling a little bit sleepy till now, but now pay attention, yeah. This is maybe you find this bit interesting. At 21, he was studying like his books, yeah, and he contracted leprosy because in those days leprosy was a thing, like it also in the Middle Ages in Europe, yeah. So he suspected this was due to a black magic spell cast by his father out of jealousy. But anyway, for whatever reason, yeah, he had leprosy. So of course, as a leper, he had to leave the monastery and be exiled from society, yeah. So then he thought, what am I going to do? Yeah. So then what he did is, he said, okay, I'm going to go into retreat. So he did a 3-year retreat on Tonglen. Yeah. Tonglen is taking the suffering of others and giving your happiness and well-being to them. Yeah. Together with Om Mani Padme Hum and many different practices. Yeah. So he spent 3 years in retreat practicing Tonglen, and as a result, completely cured of himself of leprosy. Yeah. Okay. So when I was talking about NgalSo Tantric Self-Healing 1 of Lama Gangchen Rinpoche, we talked about this, yeah? Because at that time in the Self-Healing 1, okay, Auto Corazon Uno in Spanish, yeah, this is the Spanish version. Can you see the light? Oops. Anyway, when we're talking about Self-Healing 1 in here, it says we should practice Lojong according to the 8 verse and 7 point mind training, yeah? So then if you want to look back, that's on YouTube, no? So then I told the story in detail that he spent his time practicing Lojong, and in the Lojong it says that the Lojong was a secret practice for lepers, yeah, and it healed many lepers, and then some people found out, and it became spread in the general community, because it was like a miracle practice, because people thought, if you can cure a leper of leprosy, this practice is really good, I want to do it. So that's how Lojong became super famous in Tibet. So Rinpoche in the past life was one of these lepers who cured themselves of leprosy by practicing Lojong. And Rinpoche, he always used to say that why he didn't have any eyebrows, do you remember? And it was because in that life he was a leper, and this was like a kind of mark, a sign that he'd had leprosy in another lifetime, okay? So he said many times like that, okay? So anyway, Trapul Lotsawa cured himself of leprosy, and then he was able to come out of retreat, yeah? Anyway, he says while he was in retreat, his uncle, NgalSo Rinpoche, not his father, who he didn't like, but his uncle, NgalSo Rinpoche, used to come around and talk to him each morning at dawn, because a retreat hut is like a little hut with a small window, So obviously to avoid the contagion, the uncle would sit outside and talk to him through the window, okay, little window like this, small one, In Pashupati, in Kathmandu, they have the little hut of Mahasiddha Naropa, okay? Still there, if you ever go to Nepal in the future when you can, it's really nice to go and see little hut, And they have this really small window. So actually they used to seal the door, and through this window they used to pass the food, and also I suppose if you made like pee-pee, they'd pass out through there, So I had an assistant, okay, bringing food and things, food and water, And they would stay like closed in there until the end of the retreat, like 3 years, In those days they were really hardcore, really serious, So in this nowadays in Nepal, there's this like kind of myth, let's say, that if you can squeeze yourself out through the little hole, you can achieve a realization. So I was there with some friends, some Italian friends, so they all managed to squeeze themselves out, but unfortunately I got stuck in the little hole, My hips were too big. Should have done it when I was younger, So good for young, thin yogis and yoginis, okay? Anyway, they have these little slight slots, okay? Anyway, so his uncle, NgalSo Rinpoche, used to come and teach him the Dharma each morning, and he gave him, for example, what's called the 13 commandments and the 136 precepts, So lots and lots of ethical, that maybe they're precepts of Lojong, I don't know what they are, Anyway, age 24, Jampa Pel, Rinpoche in the past life, came out of the retreat, and then his uncle gave him the initiation, the Poa initiation, And then NgalSo Rinpoche made a lungten, a prediction, and he said, just like the shape of a, a gyeling, which is, it's like a kind of like, I'd say like a clarinet or something, a Tibetan one. It's like this now, it's thin, and then there's an end like that. So it said, just like the shape of a gyeling, as you age, your fortune will widen, So as you get older, everything will get better for you, Because definitely, when he was young, it was not so good if he was a leper, okay? Anyway, 2 months later, NgalSo Rinpoche passed away, So then, Trapul Lotsawa Jampel Pel, aka Rinpoche, in the 12th century, performed his guru's funeral rites and built a statue of him. Then he decided to travel to Nepal in order to study Sutra, Tantra, and Sanskrit to Tibetan translator, Okay, so not like these days, no? Travel to Nepal is not get in a bus, and sit there comfortably until you arrive in Kathmandu. In those days was really something, you have to go all the way, actually past Everest and down very far, no? Weeks and weeks and months, So it says, on his way, he stopped at the Kairon Pass on the border, between Nepal and Tibet. And there he met his Vajra brother, Dongzagpa Chempo, who was also a disciple of NgalSo Rinpoche, So then Trapul Lotsawa offered his Vajra brother some silver, some money, and asked him to make asked him to make a divination. He said, I've got 3 questions, So he said, my 3 questions are, question 1, if I go to India and Nepal, will I have an accident and will I die, Because that was a very dangerous journey, and most of the people who went from Tibet and India never came back because of accident, because of robbers, because of disease, So he said, will I live, What will happen, Will I survive if I go to India, And second question, if I go to India and Nepal, will I be able to benefit living beings? And third question, will my projects be successful, Okay. Then Dong Zappa, who'd taken the money, said, okay, he said, sorry, I don't know the answer. So he said, I recommend you pray to Bodhisattva Amoghapasha and see if you can have a dream sign, yeah? So actually, Shantideva also talks about Bodhisattva Amoghapasha in the Bodhisattva Charya Avatara, the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, yeah? And also Bodhisattva Amoghapasha actually is represented on the side of Mendut Temple in Borobudur, yeah? Anyway, in ancient India, Amoghapasha is a form of Chenrezi, okay? Special form of Chenrezi. And if you do his practice and do the retreat, yeah, then when you go to sleep, then Amoghapasha gives you some sign in the dream, okay? So anyway, so it says in the history that Trupul Lotsawa, aka Rinpoche in the 12th century, made big offerings to Bodhisattva Chenrezi Amoghapasha, and then he must have done the retreat as well. And he said he went to sleep, yeah? And it says, at dawn, he dreamt of a lama with teeth as white as conch, yeah? And on his back, yeah, was written in Sanskrit letters, Dvi Bashi, yeah? Okay? Then, in the dream, the lama gave to him 3 things. First was a bodhi leaf, upon which was a bird-faced pandita. Underneath was written Mahamaitri, Great Maitreya, yeah? So first thing was a picture on a bodhi leaf, yeah? Second thing was a mirror, yeah? And inside was reflected a deva-like pandita, and underneath was written Manjusri, yeah? Okay? Mm-hmm. And the third thing that the Lama in the dream gave to him was an image of a white man, yeah? So it was kind of like, I don't know, like a doll or something. Outside was made of rough wool, like yak wool, but inside was made of silk. And underneath was written Mani Padme, yeah? Okay? So then, this is still in the dream, yeah? Okay, so the 3 gifts, yeah? The first one says Maitreya on the bottom, the second one says Manjusri, and the third one is Chenrezi, no? Or Mani Padme Hum, yeah? So in the dream, Trupul Lotsawa was impressed, and then he wanted to offer these 3 gifts to a temple. But then the Lama in the dream said, give them back to me. And he said, let the lion conch, yeah, run freely in all directions, yeah? It said, you can first take the leaf and the mirror and then the white man, yeah? Okay? Then take the mirror. No, it says, leave the leaf and the mirror, sorry. First take the white man, yeah? Second, take the mirror. And third, take the leaf, yeah? Okay, and after that, he woke up, yeah, thinking, ooh, that was an interesting dream, yeah? So he woke up feeling really happy, feeling the dream was auspicious, but he didn't really understand what it meant, yeah? But later on in his life, he came to understand that the lion, yeah, I don't know what was this lion, but anyway, this conch lion, yeah, was himself Trupul Lotsawa, yeah, yeah. The white man who appeared in the dream was Maitri Yogi, yeah. The deva-like pandita with the mirror was the Pandit Buddha Sri, and the bird-faced pandita on the bodhi leaf was Sakya Sri, 3 very important famous lamas, yeah? Okay, so the lama with the white teeth, yeah? Okay? That was Trupul Lotsawa himself. It's like his subconscious speaking to himself, yeah? Okay? So, after the dream, he traveled to Nepal and India. Then he invited Maitri Yoga to Tibet. Then he invited Pandita Buddhasri to Tibet. Then he invited the super important and famous Kachin Pandit Sakyasri to Tibet, yeah? Okay? So important, so interesting, yeah? So next time, I'll continue with this story, yeah? Actually, this is very important, yeah? And in our lineage history also, very important, yeah? For example, we have a cycle of teachings that comes from Maitri Yogi, yeah? The Maitri Gyatsa, yeah? So important, actually. Rinpoche, Lama Gangchen, he wanted this to be done in Albaniano. He told me, yeah, after we did the Vajraval, he said, in the future, he wanted somebody to come, to invite one Lama he knew, to read all the Kangyur and the Tengyur, which would take 1 month. And he said also in the future, he wanted to have the Maitri cycle of teachings performed in Albaniano. So this is something we need to bear in mind for the future, yeah? Okay? And gradually try and fulfill all Rinpoche La's wishes when our temple is built up. Anyway, next time on Thursday, I'll continue with the story of Trupul Lotsawa, okay? I hope you found that interesting. I mean, I personally find it extremely interesting. I always did, yeah. Like, for example, so what I used to find interesting is how these things manifested in the present Rinpoche's present life. Like, for example, when he was young now, he went to India when he came out of Tibet, China, in the Cultural Revolution. And he went to the Varanasi, to the Sanskrit school, where he was there for 7 years together with Kyabje Song Rinpoche. So Rinpoche never studied at all. Yeah, he went around, he helped Song Rinpoche, he helped people, he did retreats, did no studying at all. Yeah, he told me. Yeah, he always came last in the Sanskrit exams, and in the final exams he came top. Yeah, so that's impossible really, because I tried to study Sanskrit. It's so difficult. Yeah? So that shows that he was Trupul Lotsawa in the other life. Otherwise, absolutely impossible. Yeah? No way can anybody do that. Yeah. So this is showing the workings of reincarnation, yeah, okay, and many, many, many other interesting things, okay. So more of this next time, yeah, okay. If anybody has any stories about Greece, yeah, Rinpoche in Greece, please send them in. I think some of you do, so please send them in and tell me, and also then I will keep them and we'll add them into our collection of stories about Rinpoche's other lives, yeah, okay. Okay, let me put this down. Okay, so let's finish in a short way to do the self-healing practice together, okay? So why we're telling the story of our lineage gurus like Rinpoche and Kyabje Trijang Rinpoche and all the other important gurus of our lineage is why? Because then maybe we develop more faith in the power and blessing of our NgalSo tradition, yeah? We're heirs to incredible, powerful spiritual tradition. We should rejoice every day of our lives, No need to feel sad or anything like that. Now we just need to get on with the Dharma, yeah? Get on with the Dharma job Rinpoche left us, yeah? Okay? So, specifically, Rinpoche said we should do self-healing, yeah? He showed this practice all over India, Nepal, Tibet, all over the entire world, many, many times to everybody, yeah? Okay? And in all the holy places of Tibet and India and Nepal and Mongolia, he showed this in all the most important teachings. So that means we should do it, yeah? Okay? Okay, so therefore, let's do it, okay? Locho zampo pelgyuta shipa, tuten tempe hetrin leyanoda, pegedro lo zampe zepachen, palden la mehesha blasowade, oma guru, padradara, suhumati muni, shahasane kama, utavadanye, Sri Bhadra Vasamahanya Sawasidi Mama Guru Bhadradara Sumati Muni Shahasahane Kama Uttavadanye Sri Bhadra Vasamahanya Sawasidi Mama Guru Vajradhara Suhumati Muni Shahasahane Kama Uttavadanye Sri Bhadra Vasamahanya Sawasidi Hum Pakyake Kuda Dagielu Pakyake Sundahantagina Pakyake Tuda Dagi Danyamechi Tujingilo Makyake Kuda Dagielu Makyake Sundahantagina Makyake Tuda Dagi Danyamechi Tujingilo Om Guru Buddha Siddhi Hum 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 Om Guru Buddha Siddhi Hum. 7 astrological healing practices. Tayata on gati gati paragati parasangati bodhisoha. Tayata on gati gati paragati parasangati bodhisoha. Tayata on gati gati paragati parasangati bodhisoha. On subani sama hum hum pe on grina grina hum hum pe on grina pe hum hum pe. On manai ho by one video as a hum hum pe on subani sama hum hum pe on grina grina hum hum pe on grina pe hum hum pe. Om Nai Ho Bhagwan Bidaraja Hum Hum Pe Om Vajra Sapa Samaya Manu Palaya Vajra Sapa Tenopa Tishta Drido Meba Suto Kayo Meba Wa Supo Kayo Meba Wa Anurato Meba Wa Sawa Siddhi Meba Sawa Kama Sutsame Tritan Sriya Kuru Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajra Mame Mutta Vajra Bhava Mahasamaya Sapa Ahum Pe. Okay. Dharani of the king of the owner of the planet. Lama Zadang Gyuka Sedang Yusangi Dagpokyan Chomdende Deshin Shepa Dratompa Yandape Zope Sangye Zadang Gyupa Yusangi Dapo Gyalpola Jetsalo Tayata Nakshatre Sawa Titi Murti Nakshatre Sadun te naye bavendu try chaye soha tayata om nakshastre maha nakshastre soha nakshastre bavendu soha om mani pehme hu om mani pehme hu om mani pehme hu om mani pehme hu om Bhageshwari mo Om Bhageshwari Mo, Om Bhageshwari Mo, Om Bhageshwari Mo, Om Vajrapani Ho, Om Vajrapani Ho, Om Vajrapani Ho, Om Vajrapani Ho. Mantra of Father Kalachakra and Mother Bishwamata. Om Ahu Ho Hankya Mala Varayam Hum Pe. Om Ahu Ho Hankya Mala Varayam Hum Pe. Om Ahu Ho Hankya Mala Varayam Hum Pe. Om Pram Bishwamata Hum Hum Pe. Om Pram Bishwamata Hum Hum Pe. Om Pram Bishwamata Hum Hum Pe. The essence mantra that clears away all calamities and misfortune. Om Akani Nikani Abali Mandala Mandala Made Soha. Om Akani Nikani Abali Mandela Made Soha. Om Akani Nikani Abelia Mandala Mande Soha. Black Manjusri. Om Praso Juso to the So NgalSo Kalasha Kamsantra Bepe Soha. Om Praso Juso to the So NgalSo Kalasa Kamshamtra Bepe Soha. Om Praso Juso to the So NgalSo Kalasa Kamshamtra Bepe Soha. Mantra of dependent origination. Om Yedama Heto Prabhawa Hetan Tishan Tata Gato. Yawa Data Tishan Chayo Niroda Evan Vadi Mahashramanaya Soha. Dama Hito Prabhava Hitan Tishan Tata Gato. Yawa Data Tishan Chayo Niroda. Evan Vadi Mahashramanaya Soha. All phenomena depend on causes and conditions. The Tathagata, the great Shramana, understood the cause of all phenomena and their cessation. Soha. 5-element purification, which is the most important astrological purification. Eyam Ram Lamba, Eyam Ram Lamba, Eyam Ram Lamba, Shude Shude. Opening the 5 lotuses. Pam lepehema nompo, pam lepehema sepo, pam lepehema nompo, pam lepehema Ahamlepe maka. Awakening the 5 seed letters. Om ahahum tram ri. From the 5 seed letters arise the symbols of the 5 supreme healer Buddhas. Ri le naso doji janku ri. Tram le no hobo sepo tram. Hun le doje no hobo hum. Ahalepe mam. Aham le koloka. From the symbols arise the 5 supreme healer Buddhas. Om Kolonan Se Doji Ahapema Chu Doji Un Doji Mikyo Doji Tam no Buri Chund Kri Natso Doji. Okay, healing the 5 chakras. Lama Tuyun Doji Kyan. Om Ahamoga Siddhi Hum. Om Ahamoga Siddhi Hum. Om Ahamoga Siddhi Hum. Om Ahamoga Siddhi Hum. Om Ahamoga Siddhi. Healing the navel chakra. Lama Rinchen Doji Kyen. Om Aratna Sambhava Hum. 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 Healing the heart chakra. Lama Mikyo Doji Kyen. Om Ahashobhya Hum. Om Ahashobhya Hum. Om Ahashobhya Hum. Om Ahashobhya Hum. Om Ahashobhya. Healing the throat chakra. Lama Chodoji Kyen. Om Amitabha Hum. Om Amitabha Hum. Om Amitabha Hum. Om Amitabha Hum. Om Amitabha. Lama Nanse Doji Kyen. Om Avarochana Hum. Om Avarochana Hum. Om Avarochana Hum. Om Avarochana Hum. Om Avarochana. Vajra Master. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Om Mahasukha Hum. Om Mahasukha Hum. Om Mahasukha Hum. Om Mahasukha. Om Mahasukha. Om Bhishwa Shanti Hum. 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 By the power of the truth, peace and bliss forever. By the power of the truth, peace and bliss forever. By the power of the truth, peace and bliss forever. Lama Conchason la Kyapsuchi, Rani la Sododil Sonecho, Do na chosun ye choda da hando, ge choho kunu jishindro. Do na disona page weso, ji ne sapa de hinyo duda, no bo baso shambala gene, la mehe langi rimpata. Ni modele sentele, ni me kohoya handele shin, ni senta hatu dele pel, kon choho sungi jing. Kon choho sungi nudruso, kon choho sungi tashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness. So thank you all very much for listening. So again on Thursday at 7 o'clock, 7 till 9 in the evening, Central European time, we'll continue with part 12 of this explanation of Lama Gangchen Rinpoche's self-healing teachings. And we'll continue with the Namta, a little bit short Namta of Tropu Lotsawa and many other beautiful things about Rinpoche's other lives. And then we'll continue piece by piece with the explanation. So beautiful, no? So hope you have a good week and see you all soon. Thank you for listening. Thank you very much. Yeah. See you all soon.